Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 28 and week 29 newsreel. Bogdan here, your host for the following minutes. I hope that you're all doing great. And guys, without further ado, let's start this newsreel with a regular quiz question, which this week involves nutmeg, and it goes like this. So, who was the largest exporter of nutmeg in the world in 2021 in terms of value? And the options here are Indonesia, Sri Lanka, or India. And guys, the correct answer is Indonesia with some $100 million worth of exports, followed at a long distance by India with some $18 million, while Sri Lanka was the third largest exporter of nutmeg in the world with some $8.5 million. And now, with this being said, let's see together how the Freightos index behaved. I have here the figures for week 29, and as you can see, we have a rather stable general index, which currently sits at $6,319. With big movers here involving the North Europe to China sub-index was up 10%, and North America West Coast to China sub-index was down 5%. Now, relative to the main head holes, as usual, I will start with the Trans-Pacific ones. And basically, we have here a 4% drop on the sub-index connecting China to North America West Coast. So that brings the value to $6,957. While the other sub-index connecting China to North America East Coast stayed more or less the same as in week 28. And we have here a value of $10,000. For the crossways head holes, as I've predicted in my video from week 27, rates are starting to fall, and we have for both sub-indexes a 2% contraction relative to week 28, which brings the absolute value to $10,219 for the sub-index connecting China to North Europe, and $12,030 for the sub-index connecting China to the Mediterranean. And personally, guys, considering the latest figures regarding inflation both in the United States and Europe, Eurozone Purchasing Managers Index sharp decline, or I don't know, the European Central Bank interest rate increase from last week, I won't be surprised at all to see the freights going down even more in the weeks to come, especially on the crossways head holes. Anyways, guys, we should wait and see together what's going to happen. And in the meantime, let's move to the news here. I've picked just two for you guys, not too much activity going on in the summer. Sorry, guys. And the first one comes from containernews.com. It's about MSC-controlled terminal operator company, so Terminal Investment Limited, who decided to invest 700 million euros in the port of Le Havre in order to boost the role of the French hub as a gateway to Northern and Western Europe. Supposedly, there will be some spillover effects in terms of jobs created there and so on. Not that relevant, if you ask me, if you don't add a little bit of context here, because are those going to be permanent jobs or just during the construction phase? But anyways, what I find really interesting here is that MSC is entering the French turf, supposedly the playground of CMA-CGM. MSC, by the way, it's very close to the French authorities. The vast majority of vessels deployed by MSC cruises are built by the French company Chantiers de l'Atlantique. And okay, you might say that there is nothing relevant here, but I beg to differ. Greasing some wheels at this level always makes business decisions a lot easier to make. Anyways, it's an interesting move, as I said earlier, if you ask me. And although Le Havre, in terms of volumes, is way behind the big guys from Northern Europe like Rotterdam, Antwerp, Hamburg, or Bremenhaven, there is a lot of room to grow. And I don't know, with this development, MSC could transfer some of its volumes there, as the other ports are getting really crowded, especially Rotterdam and Antwerp. And of course, guys, all this has to be supported by inland transport corridor in order to reach the hinterland. And personally, I think that the French authorities are already planning just that. And that's why I've said that being close to authorities and the strategic industries always pays off if you play your cards well. So guys, that's the news about MSC terminal business. As now I'll move to my other news. It's coming from the EU Commission, as there is a request and a proposal to temporarily scrap tariffs on inputs used to produce nitrogen fertilizers until the end of 2024. As the EU market, it's highly dependent on imports from third countries. And in the context of Russian aggression on Ukraine, which are two major suppliers, the EU producers have to find new sources for these inputs, urea in special. And basically, they've planned this tariff suspension in order to court, if you want, the exporters from, I don't know, Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, or Oman. So basically, here there are good times to be in the urea and bulk shipping business. Hopefully, they will manage to strike some deals, as right now fertilizers are in high demand. I'm expecting tough negotiations, and I don't know if this measure will indeed lower the cost for EU producers and the farmers, considering the energy intensive nature of this process. But hopefully, at least, this measure will help increase the supplier base for the coming years. Anyhow, with this being said, guys, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that you've liked it. Don't forget to hit those tiny buttons below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.